Encounters between grizzlies and polar bears have been reported in past literature. In these encounters, grizzly bears killed denning female polar bears while at a significant size disadvantage. Grizzly and polar bears have never lived in the same area at the same time in the past. But because climate change is pushing grizzlies farther north, they are running into each other more and more. Especially along the north coast of Alaska, things like whales that wash up on the shore create situations where the two bears will fight over very large meals. About 38 million years ago, the polar bears split off from the other carnivores. In 2004, the remains of a polar bear that lived between 130,000 and 110,000 years ago were found in Prince Charles Foreland. About 800,000 years ago, the Asian subspecies Ursus savini gave rise to the grizzly bear. However, the oldest fossil of a brown bear was found in China. It was 500,000 years old. Both are dangerous opponents because they are at the top of their food chains. But what would happen if they met under less than friendly circumstances? A 2015 study looked at how grizzly bears and polar bears get along with each other. When polar bears and grizzly bears are both looking for food, polar bears are more likely to back down and let grizzly bears take the prize. We've seen the study that says polar bears are more likely to let grizzly bears take their prey. But if the two species were to fight, what would each have going for it? Though polar bears might just be more willing to give up their prey so they don't waste energy fighting. If there was a real fight, the results could be different. Polar bear men are taller than polar bear women. Most of the time, an animal's height is only taken into account when it is standing on all fours. When standing on all four legs, a polar bear is 1 to 1.6 meters, or 4 to 5.3 feet, tall. When an adult male polar bear stands on its back legs like a person, its height is about 2.4 to 3 meters, or 5.9 to 9.8 feet. The height of an adult female polar bear is between 1.8 and 2.4 meters, or 5.9 and 7.8 feet. Most adult male polar bears weigh between 770 and 1,300 pounds, 350 to 600 kilograms. The heaviest bear ever seen was a 12-foot-tall Alaskan bear that was killed in 1960. It weighed 2,210 pounds, 1,000 kilograms. Polar Bears International says that females weigh 330 to 650 pounds, 150 to 295 kilograms, which is half as much as males. The average height of a grizzly bear when it is standing on all four legs is 102 centimeters, which is 3.35 feet. Bears that are pretty big can grow up to 1.5 meters tall, which is about 4.9 feet at the shoulders. When an adult male grizzly bear stands on its back legs like a person, he is about 2.44 meters, 8 feet, tall, which is about the height of a person. Up to 3 meters, or 9.8 feet, is the maximum height for a fairly large bear. Grizzly bears can weigh up to 700 pounds, 315 kilograms. Males are bigger than females and can weigh between 200 and 300 kilograms, about 400 to 600 pounds. In the lower 48 states, a big female can weigh between 110 and 160 kilograms, which is about 250 to 350 pounds. From the table above, you can see that the polar bear has a huge size advantage. Simply put, they're very big. They are the right size and weight to survive the harsh winters in the Arctic because they are so big and heavy. Because they are so big, their paws need to be big as well. Their paws also help them swim very well because they work like flippers and help them move forward as they hunt aquatic prey. The paw of a polar bear is 30 centimeters, 12 inches wide, which is almost 4 times as big as a human paw. And grizzly bears have big paws, too, but they aren't as big as polar bears. The front feet can be up to 5 inches wide and 7 inches long, and the back feet can be up to 6 inches wide and 11 inches long. The polar bear's claw is more designed to help it grip the snow and grab seals, which make up most of its diet. The grizzly's claw, on the other hand, is made to dig and hurt any animal it might meet in the wild. So it's hard to say for sure who has the upper hand. The big paws of polar bears help them walk on ice. Their claws get shorter and sharper because of this. If they were to fight with their claws, the brown bear would probably have the upper hand because its claws are better at swiping. If a fight between grizzlies and polar bears turned into wrestling, the polar bears might have the upper hand. Polar bear males tend to wrestle and bite each other's necks when they fight, whether it's for fun or not. polar bears have the strongest bite force of all bears, at 1,200 psi. Only a few animals on Earth have a stronger bite force than the polar bear, which is measured at 1,200 psi. With a bite force of about 1,160 psi, the grizzly bear is a close second. It is just a few places below the polar bear on the list. What do these numbers mean, though? In more practical terms, these animals can easily bite through a cast iron pan, cinder block, or even a bowling ball. Think about what would happen to you. When it comes to mouth size and bite force, the polar bear has the upper hand. Not only is their mouth much bigger than the grizzlies, but their teeth are also better at killing than the grizzlies. As we've already said, a grizzly bear's claws are its most powerful weapons. Since the grizzly's diet is more varied than that of the polar bear, it has more rounded molars. This helps it break down plant food when it doesn't have any live prey. In the past, grizzlies and polar bears have come into contact with each other. In these cases, grizzly bears killed pregnant female polar bears even though they were much smaller. So it's hard to say for sure who will win. What's your opinion?